The dissolution of Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt's once fairy-tale marriage has morphed into one of Hollywood's most protracted and acrimonious battles. A legal quagmire that shows no signs of receding even 9 years after their initial split. At the epicenter of this storm is Chateau Miraval, the sprawling French vineyard estate that symbolized their idyllic life together. A sun-drenched haven of lavender fields, ancient stone walls, and rolling vineyards that once hosted their 2014 wedding. Purchased in 2008 as a family retreat, it was meant to be a legacy for their 6 children, a tangible piece of the empire built by 2 of Tinseltown's most luminous stars. Instead, it has become the battleground for accusations of betrayal, financial sabotage, and emotional devastation, with insiders revealing that the relentless courtroom clashes are exacting a profound psychological price on Jolie, leaving her haunted by sleepless nights and a pervasive sense of dread. Those close to the situation paint a harrowing picture of Jolie's inner turmoil. The protracted nature of the dispute has woven itself into the fabric of her daily existence, amplifying every whisper of progress into a roar of potential catastrophe. The longer this case goes on, the more anxiety and trauma it causes Angelina, especially as she's got so much to lose, confided one source intimately involved in the proceedings. The stakes couldn't be higher, not just the estate's multimillion-dollar valuation, but the very foundation of her financial independence and the stability she's fought to provide for Maddox, Pax, Zahara, Shiloh, Vivienne, and Knox, their blended brood of adopted and biological children who have weathered the public spectacle with quiet resilience. Jolie's advocacy work, from refugee rights to women's health initiatives, has always positioned her as a pillar of fortitude, yet privately the weight of this vendetta is crushing. Night after night, as the world sleeps, she lies awake, her mind a whirlwind of legal briefs, deposition transcripts, and worst-case scenarios that threaten to unravel the life she's meticulously rebuilt post-divorce. Pitt's approach to the litigation, as described by observers, has been unyielding and aggressive, likened to a predator closing in for the kill. Brad and his pitbull lawyers are out for blood. She knows that, so the very real prospect of total financial ruin keeps her up night after night. The insider elaborated, underscoring the adversarial tactics that have turned what should have been a civilized division of assets into a war of attrition. From allegations of Pitt's alleged misuse of estate funds to counterclaims of Jolie's sabotage and selling off wine labels without consent, the filings read like a thriller novel penned by scorned lovers. Pitt, ever the stoic figure in films like Fight Club and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, has maintained a public veneer of restraint, channeling his energies into winemaking ventures and philanthropy. Yet, behind closed doors, his legal team has pursued every avenue to reclaim control of Miraval, arguing it as an indivisible marital asset intertwined with his personal legacy. For Jolie, each motion feels like a fresh wound, reopening scars from the 2016 plane incident that allegedly sparked the divorce. A heated argument en route from France that reportedly involved the children and left Jolie seeking sole custody. Despite the exhaustion etching lines into her face, Jolie's resolve remains unbroken, a testament to the same tenacious spirit that propelled her from wild child roles in Hackers and Girl, Interrupted to Oscar glory in Girl, Interrupted and beyond. She's totally committed to fighting this case with everything she's got, the source affirmed, highlighting her refusal to yield ground in what she perceives as a principled stand against overreach. There's no retreat in sight. Capitulation would mean more than financial concession. It would symbolize an erasure of her agency in a marriage she entered with eyes wide open to its complexities. The toll, however, is multifaceted. There's no other choice, but it's costing a fortune and draining her mentally, the confidant added, alluding to the astronomical legal fees that have ballooned into the 7 figures, siphoning resources from her humanitarian endeavors and creative pursuits. Jolie, who has directed poignant films like Unbroken and First They Killed My Father, finds her artistic well running dry amid the constant vigilance required to navigate depositions, expert testimonies, and appeals that stretch across international courts. The couple's shared history adds layers of poignancy to the pain. What began as a whirlwind romance on the set of Mr. and Mrs. Smith in 2005, igniting tabloid frenzy as Brangelina, blossomed into a partnership that championed global causes, from adopting in war-torn regions to environmental conservation. Their 2014 nuptials at Miraval were a pinnacle of romance, surrounded by olive trees and the laughter of their children, who ranged from toddlers to teens at the time. The 2016 divorce filing shattered that illusion, citing irreconcilable differences amid whispers of deeper fissures, including the infamous mid-flight altercation that prompted child services investigations and temporary custody restrictions on Pitt. 8 grueling years later, in 2024, They inch toward a custody settlement, but the property dispute lingers like a stubborn shadow, complicating co-parenting dynamics for Maddox, 24, Pax, 21, Zahara, 20, Shiloh, 19, and the twins Vivienne and Knox, 17. The older children, now young adults carving their own paths, Zahara at Spelman College, Shiloh exploring dance, have largely stayed out of the fray, but the undercurrent of familial strain is palpable. In response to the unrelenting pressure, Jolie is contemplating a radical reinvention, relocating overseas to forge a new chapter with her children, away from the paparazzi glare and legal landmines of Los Angeles. Whispers suggest destinations like Cambodia, where she has deep ties through adoption and filmmaking, or perhaps a quieter European enclave that echoes the serenity of Miraval without its baggage. This move would not be an escape but a reclamation, a chance to nurture bonds strained by court dates and headlines, to immerse in cultures that have long fueled her passion for storytelling and justice. Her recent roles, from the ethereal warrior in Eternals to the haunted mother in Those Who Wish Me Dead, reflect this quest for catharsis, channeling personal adversity into performances of quiet power. Yet, the legal morass persists, a reminder that even icons like Jolie are not impervious to the human cost of broken vows.